Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you very much for joining us. This is another episode of LexaCrunch. If you've been here before, we talk about magic news, magic shenanigans, and then we rant and rave about a shitty movie that one of us has picked. And this month's shitty movie is Extra Shitty.
Extra creamy.
Whose fault was this?
I take no part in the fact that I also recommend
full responsibility.
This is all Chesh's fault, let's be honest.
Yep.
But before we get too far into this, we're going to go from left to right, introduce ourselves, and then we're going to get started. Chesh, kick us off.
Pew pew! Hey, I'm Al from the Nerd Ranch, and also Commander Crunch, the coolest Commander podcast, hands down. And I am here to be your delightful Australian bridge. Drive over me, Daddy. Drive over me.
All right.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure how to
That's
follow
deep, right?
into that, but my name is Brandon, aka the producer, a host at MTGLexicon, and I'm going to be the 4x4 that's going to be driving over Chesh's bridge. Those
Ooh.
big, thick, nubby tires.
Are you going to be a 1 ton or a 1.2?
Just a 1 ton. It's unreasonable to have a 1.2 if you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to have an open flat tray rather than a cab?
No, I honestly don't want either. Just make a full unibody out of it. Who gives a shit? That's why the Tahoe exists, baby. All right. Anyways, passing it along.
Hey, it's Jeff. I'm part of MTGLexicon, and I was recently on a podcast that's Cole's Uncommon podcast. I think it's just called the Uncommon. I don't even know what it's called. I feel like a dick now. But it was a
Uncommon
good
Commander
episode.
podcast?
Yeah, the Uncommon Commander podcast. That's what it's called. I'm sure you know what it is if you're listening to this. Go check it out. All right, I'll pass.
Yes,
it on over.
Uncommon Commander podcast.
Yes.
And that's me, Lucky Last. I'm Adam, or Ads. I'm also a co-host of ours. We did mail time together. We play video games together, and do a couple of NBA basketball trading card podcasts. So, time to review a shitty movie, I guess.
No, well, not yet.
No, wait.
Magic news first.
Magic news first. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Because we need to talk about anti-vax artists.
oh my god!
Sam again.
Okay. I was hoping we wouldn't have to talk about this.
It's magic news. We have to talk about it.
Maybe we don't have to.
I'm pretty fucked up about it. I'm not gonna lie. Seb was my favorite artist.
Same with a lot of people.
Oh
He
boy!
just- What the fuck, man? Why are you hanging out with white nationalists, bro?
Yeah. But it was only a small part of the crowd, and people were staying away from them, and it's like, but what you're saying is you're still including them in the group. No one's kicking them out of the group. They're trying to stay away from them. Does not mean shit, Sam. Come on, dude.
Like his argument is like, it's not a white nationalist rally. Don't believe the media. It's like, well, it's not a white nationalist rally, but we'll just let them in this as part of this movement. You know, like, oh, they could be here. It's cool.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
what it's about.
it's like all the Melbourne
What
marches,
the
right?
fuck?
So the Melbourne marches started off because a whole bunch of tradies were apparently, and I'm going to say apparently, or allegedly, were upset because their work had to stop because of COVID, right?
Mm.
Unfortunately, the rallies that they decided to attend weren't actually done by them. The rallies themselves were set up by white nationalists, and then the tradies joined, and all the white nationalists wore exactly what the tradies were wearing to try and make it all look like tradies. But then the white nationalists
Okay, I wasn't familiar with that term, but I think I
also brought out all of the shitty signs, and all the tradies were like, they look just like us. Everyone's going to think it's us.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, dickhead, you fucking joined a white nationalist movement without realizing it. You
Yeah.
fucking morons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe they should have stayed home with their 17-year-old girlfriends.
So the thing about this is, I lost a friend to Q Anon, and I before this I was like arguing with him, and I was like, hey, like, you ever notice how there's a lot of white nationalists and like Nazis, like straight up Nazis, like associated with a lot of things that you believe in? And he's like, yeah, but it's like, it's not yeah, but there's no yeah, but, right?
Yeah, but
yeah.
we're white nationalists.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, this is very much like episode 4 of Peacemaker,
Mm.
where the vigilante says to Peacemaker, like, bro, really, your dad is a white nationalist and a Nazi. He is clearly racist as shit. And Peacemaker goes, he's my dad, but I'm not a racist. And it's like, no, I don't think you understand, dude. Like, your dad is a racist piece of shit, and you love him.
Yeah. It's like that. I don't know. I don't have any hot Sam and Chesh takes. I just don't. I'm just really disappointed and upset.
Well, I mean,
bought
that
his
is
artwork.
the hot take, isn't it?
I've
Like, the
given this guy
disappointment.
money. I
Yeah.
I love his art, but now it's just like, what the why do you have to be like this?
It's funny because there was heaps of posts going on. There was a couple of how would I put it, high level pros who were talking about like artists, and like, this is why, like, you meet with some of these artists and they're just real fucking horrible. And I just replied to a couple of those going, tell me about Arcade Post, because if you can tell me one single bad thing about Arcade Post, I will believe that most of the Magic artists are trash. Oh, you can't? Because they're not? Because let's face it, the amount of Magic artists that are great, that are good people, versus the amount that have turned out to be shitbags, there's a very, very big difference in percentage there. And that's the one thing I was trying to tell people is, like, shit on them for being a shit person, but don't shit on them and refer it back to Magic, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were my favorite Magic artist. Yeah, I get that. That's fine. But once you start shitting on, oh, here we go, like, Wizards probably aren't even going to fire them, and it's like, well, that's not your decision, that's not my decision, and that is Wizards' decision. At the end of the day, if Wizards want to do something about it, give them the information, but you don't need to, like, spew it all over social media. Like, what you need to do is discuss the issue at hand, properly discuss it, and this all started for me because somebody was trying to make a point, and I jumped in on that conversation and didn't even know it was Sam and Chesh until somebody, like, messaged me and was like, hey, you know all that shit's about Sam and Chesh, right? I'm like, I don't give a shit who it's about. Like, if you are hanging out at these rallies and then trying to claim that these rallies aren't supported largely by white supremacist Nazis and alt-right wingers, then you need to have a look at the people you're running with. Because the moment they start claiming they are anti-vax, you should be backing the fuck out of there. Because that says that they are uneducated, unwilling to be educated. We are 3 years on into fucking COVID now, and there is no reason to say I'm an anti-vaxxer. There is absolutely no reason.
Attention seeking.
Yeah.
Mm.
And a plane.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Does anybody else have anything to add to this? Because
just that I am really disappointed.
Yes, we all are. I think there's
And
nothing...
Neon Destiny's next weekend! So
I was just gonna say Neon
Here we
Destiny.
go!
Woo! Yeah, that's something that's cool. I'm really liking what I'm seeing coming out of Neon Destiny. I'm gonna buy the fuck out of this set.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Can everyone remember what I said when this information first dropped?
I can remember what Jeff said when this information first dropped.
What did
That's
I
I
say?
was like-
hilarious to me.
I was saying it was 4 years overdue and a poor concept, and unless they make some of the cards really powerful, what's the point anymore? Because it's just the same old shit. And boy, was somebody listening, because we're getting some real nice, powerful cards that look great. Those lands are sexy as fuck.
Yes.
And I want to buy the fuck out of collector boxes for this set.
Yep. What do you think I'm gonna say? What did I say, Brandon? I'm curious. What do you
I
think
remember
I
the
said?
very first opening sentence you had about this. If you like this, you're racist. Obviously, it was a Twitter post, but
It was a Twitter post.
I still remember that was your opening statement last show.
That was a couple shows ago.
Yeah,
because
and it was
someone on Twitter, there was like a whole conversation on Twitter.
Said that. I just
saying
said
if you're excited.
I just said that
about this in the array. I'm like, really? Are we doing? It's Twitter. It's twitter.com. If I'm not going to engage. I'm just not going to engage with that.
Jeff, you're not Peacemaker's father, are you?
I'm not Peacemaker's father. I just hate Twitter.com. If Peacemaker's father hated Twitter instead of like not white people, then yes, I am Peacemaker's father.
And for anyone that hasn't watched Peacemaker, please go and watch Peacemaker, because it is.
I haven't seen it, but
it is a fucking delight.
Is it directed by James Gunn?
It is directed by James Gunn.
Okay, I'm on board. I'm on board.
Yeah, it is, and it is.
It's rightfully good for a TV show.
Yeah, and he wrote Peacemaker to be like that kind of like stupid 80s hair metal loving like metal god type guy, and it is fucking hilarious because he's just such a misogynistic asshole idiot moron. But John Cena just plays it like so straight, like that he is just like absolutely believes in what he's doing is right, and like, you know, when he's talking about titties, he's literally just like, he's not dancing around it. He's just like, you know, and you've got a great pair of titties. You know, it's like, wow, this is the show that I didn't know I needed.
So have you watched any of John Cena's rom-coms?
Oh fuck yeah, they're all great.
Yeah, they are pure gold because he can like straight face just say some absurd shit, and it is hilarious.
John Cena's a good actor.
Yeah,
he's absolutely a fantastic actor, and like it's hilarious because if you've ever seen any of his prototype stuff from old wrestling history, where he was an android brought back from the future to beat people up in the squared circle. You would see just how good his comedy acting is. His chops are fucking brilliant.
He's very
just
funny,
so good.
And he's a very good actor. I agree with that. Ads, you got a take on this? Can you hear us?
Nah, my computer's just playing some funny buggers at the moment. It keeps dropping in and out.
Okay.
I can hear, but it's on my speakers, and now it's not in my headphones.
Oh, check your headphones connection, because if it's like a little bit loose, it'll automatically jump to your speakers because your headphones has lost connection.
Yeah, this is true. Alright, let's go. That's alright, I think I can still just play with it on the desktop.
Okay. Yeah, we're not hearing any echo. So.
Alright, is that better?
That's
well, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, we can.
You guys can hear me, so yeah, cool.
We can hear you.
I can hear you now, so I'm not gonna fiddle with my computer anymore.
No, you're good.
We were just asking you how much you love the movie that you watched.
No,
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. We'll get into it. Yeah.
You mean the last movie that I watched?
No,
we were talking about Peacemaker.
We're talking about Peacemaker.
Oh, good, because I was going to talk about like rubbing chili in my eye and like, yeah, never wanting to log on to Netflix ever again after what I just saw. That was special.
Better than Kim Kardashian porn.
I mean, technically that had a
parallel.
climax, so... Ooh, nice. Plantation.
Yeah, sweet take.
Anyways. Yes, Peacemaker was a lot of fun. I'm still enjoying it. I hope it continues on its path. There is a lot of talk about possibly Deadpool being in the next episode, but we'll see. But
Deadshot, you mean?
Is it Deadshot or Deadpool?
Well, you can't have Deadpool. It's you mixing DC with Marvel.
Oh, maybe it is Deadshot. They're talking about Ryan Reynolds being as a cameo potentially.
That wouldn't be as Deadpool then. That'd be literally as Ryan Reynolds. and that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Deadpool's allowed to break the fourth wall, so he can go across to DC whenever he likes.
I agree.
I mean,
I
they
agree.
put Superman in Eternal, so I mean, come on.
Fucking Clark Kent.
Speaking of Superman, are we ready to talk about our movie for this week?
I think we are. Does everyone want me to do a quick synopsis breakdown?
Let's do it.
Brandon Routh as Superman has disappeared and flown away from the Earth for 5 years to go on a quest for peace. My fucking god, I can't believe I just got that. Anyway, so Superman leaves Earth to go in search of Krypton and Krypton-related peoples. Doesn't find anyone, comes back to Earth 5 years later, only to figure that his entire life has been turned upside down. He has nowhere to live. Lois is fucking some other guy who happens to be, I think, the son or nephew of the dude who owns the stupid Daily Planet.
Cyclops, let's be real.
And has a Cyclops. And has a 5-year-old child that'll come into play later in the movie, who happens to be pretty much the stupidest little kid ever.
5 years old, you say?
I thought this was interesting that they casted Macaulay Culkin in that role.
And of course, Lex Luthor, who was in jail, has now been released from jail because idiot fucking Superman didn't stay around for the trial, for which he was the only fucking witness. So, consequences of your actions. If you're not around to testify, the bad guy goes free, you fucking idiot.
You are not above the law.
I am the law.
And don't forget your court date.
It's really interesting.
Officer
The whole
Chesh.
thing with this is basically comes down to, what is the moral of the story here? Is that Superman should have stayed on Earth. That's the only thing this movie actually says. But let's get into the movie and let's have a quick talk about it. The first thing that I want to talk about is, originally a little bit of trivia. The script for this was actually penned originally by J.J. Abrams and was supposed to be Superman Flyby. If anyone doesn't know what Superman Flyby is, it's basically a fucking superior movie to this. You can find the script online. It is very good. It is very much not this movie. Once this movie was changed, the studio obviously not only put their dicks in it, they also sword fight really badly. Oh boy, talk about a waste of money. So they get the best possible Superman clone / Christopher Reeve clone that they could find in Brandon Routh, who's a great actor. Gives him a shitty storyline that basically sees Superman become, quite frankly, his worst human side without him actually splitting from himself, a la Quest for Peace. There is no drinking scene where he splits between Clark Kent and Superman. This is just all Clark Kent in Superman garb being a stalker. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't watched the movie, there is a couple of different instances from when where Clark breaks a photo frame with Lois and her new family. There is a scene where Superman hangs outside Lois's house watching her get dressed into a nightie for a good 15 minutes. And that is not what Superman would do. That is never what Superman would do, because that's an abuse of the power, and Superman's all about not abusing that power, and that's why this just sucks. Plus, the very plot of this story is, again, just another Lex Luthor plot, where Luthor is doing get-rich-quick land schemes.
Yeah.
Like every other Luthor plot. Ever.
Yeah.
I need to have a drink. Go for it, Brando.
There are no words.
I'll go off by starting to say that Warner Brothers and Superman have this really weird history. I grew up watching Superman and Lois, the TV show,
Which was great.
and they tried to emulate those scenes in parody so much, especially when they're in the Daily Planet. If you ever watch that TV show, they were almost cut for cut, almost identical to the scenes in the TV show. And then as soon as they're outside of that, it was just the biggest issue I had with this movie. I think Brandon Roth is a good actor. I think this actually sunk a portion of his career for Takeoff after this as well.
It did.
And the WB has this thing with Superman where they take the acting and whoever's writing the script and they hand it to a 5-year-old, and then they take whoever's doing production, visual and special effects, and give them all the money.
Mm-hmm.
The visual and special effects in this movie are top notch. They're very good. They're very good. They're very clean. There are some scenes where it's like,
what year is this set in?
God, who the fuck knows, dude?
Do
Like,
you know where I'm going with this and why?
yeah, a little bit.
So here's my major problem with this entire thing, right? So at the end with the hospital thing, they're using all modern hospital equipment, right? But throughout the movie, it looks like it's supposed to have that hint of like 50s/60s, like it's the Christopher Reeve era, right? Because if you look at a lot of the vehicles are old-timey vehicles. Like when Lexa's cohort, whatever her name is.
No, because they drive in a brand new Audi S4 throughout a portion of the movie.
Well, but if you have a look at it, like go back and have a look at the other vehicles.
Oh, I saw some of the other vehicles. Yeah, they did like a downtown is like everyone's driving an old Volvo or like a.
It's a weird mix, isn't it?
Like really bad Crown Vics and stuff like that. But they had Lois driving around in an S4 wagon.
Oh yeah, but Lois doesn't matter. She's not the one.
I'm just saying like it is an odd mix, but I mean. They're trying to stay relevant. Anyways, where I was getting with this is that WB has this habit of putting too much in the wrong place with this movie. In fact, with this franchise, every time. You know, the very first Superman that came out, visual effects, through the roof. Absolutely loved it. Acting, not bad. Like a 7 out of 10 out of Christopher Reeves for being Superman. And the visual effects is what blew everyone away. And then as they progressed, and as they did this one, the special effects, top notch. There's a lot of scenes where it was just like, wow, I can't believe they did that. And it didn't look like really bad. Like if you've ever watched like, God,
anything with heavy CGI,
anything that's got really bad special effects, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just cheap, it's not done right, doesn't blend with the picture even, and it creates this like superfluous like green screen matte that you can clearly see in every scene, right? They didn't do that at all. They were very good about how they blended the scenes using the mix of visual and special effects to its fullest, which was great. Absolutely loved it. The script writing, trash. The plot, what was it? Anything else about this movie was absolutely garbo. Absolutely garbo. That's all I have to say. Oh, and I made a comment earlier in our side Discord chat that I didn't like how they cast Kevin Spacey for this movie. I'll explain why. He overacts every scene compared to every other person in the scene. If everyone was on the same,
great Lex Luthor.
I'm sure it would have been if everyone else in the scene was as dramatic as he was in every action, in every pan shot, in everything. Even when he goes up the stairs and he's just going up this. I want to make sure I get my cut, and then it's like everyone else is just like walking up the stairs, like, you know, and then like the chick down below he's talking to, she's like. It's just like, and the pan and focus on him was great if it was a dramatic scene, but everyone else around him was not doing a dramatic scene, and he was the only one. And it did not fit any part of the scene, and it was like that throughout the whole movie. Anything that had Kevin Spacey, I'm sure he was paid more than Brandon Roth throughout this movie, and that's probably why they did it. Sure. And I'm just saying, like, I think he would have made a great Luthor if the screenwrite and the directing put him in place with the rest of the fucking movie. but he stood out so heavily, and every scene he was in had to be dramatic that it would just like, I had to look at it and go, he's supposed to be on set, right? Just like you could pick anybody else, right? And it would make sense and match with the rest of the fucking scene, but it's Kevin Spacey, you know what I mean? So anyways, that was the reason why I made my comment about him being a poor cast for this when everyone else was just not in the same dimensional space as him with the dramatization of every scene.
You suck, Brandon.
Yeah, go suck one. Anyways, that's my hot take. I think Kevin Spacey is a fun villain, but
I'm
not
going
in
to
this movie.
slightly disagree with you for a second.
That's fine. I don't
Because I think that Superman plays the perfect counter to Lex Luthor's to Spacey's Lex Luthor, because Superman is such should be such a stoic, serious character with a little bit of camp, and I think that that's what Brendan Routh was definitely going for, was the counterpoint. But it is the script. Like, the script is what really fucks this movie just so hard.
I already said that. I said I have no issue with Brandon Roth. My issue is just how they wrote it for Spacey.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, well, Brandon's wrong about Spacey. Just flat out. He's a perfect Lex Luthor for this movie. I think he's a really good Lex Luthor because every time I see him get portrayed in a movie, sometimes they hit it, sometimes they don't. In cartoons, he is kind of like a sarcastic genius douchebag, and that's how I know Lex Luthor from the cartoons. And I think he hits it the nail on the head. There's no better way to translate that energy, and he just fucking did it. Even though he's a terrible person in real life, but we're not going to talk about that. This movie is a lot of bad things. It's boring. It's campy. It's cringe as fuck. It made me. Parts of the movie are painful to sit through, not because they're not well shot or not well written, but strictly because it's just boring as fuck. Why is a Superman movie this boring? I've seen an origin story. Why did they have to tell the origin story if we already knew he left? Yeah, it's so fucking stuck. It's just okay, alright, we get it. He gets his powers, yada yada. We've seen this 1,000 times. If you don't know who fucking Superman is, why the fuck are you watching this movie? It's kind of.
The thing I can't get over with the Lex Luthor in this particular film, yet again, is that somehow Lex gets out of prison and is broke. Just straight up broke, like somebody's just stolen all of his shit somehow, right?
Did it imply that he fucked that old lady?
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay, all right.
It really did. And one other thing I think that nobody's talked about yet that everyone might have missed was one Pomeranian eating another Pomeranian.
I saw that, and
Wasn't
I was
there two of those?
Yeah, that was weird. I'm like, why is that necessary? That's weird.
It was the symbolism of the dog eat dog.
Dog eat dog, yeah. Which was just stupid because
it was just kind of out of place. I think
it was just kind of
this whole script is out of place. The having Lex Luthor be the smartest guy in the room, who apparently can't be smart enough to earn money without doing real estate scams yet again, and going on Superman's radar yet again, rather than actually really plotting to kill Superman, but kind of does by making an entire island full of kryptonite somehow because magic happens.
Yeah.
Because the crystals make everything around it expand. What, to a whole fucking island? Really? A crystal to a whole island. Thank you for your magic, your movie magic.
Sure, we got a magic rock, and that's okay. And I'm okay with the magic rock. It's fine.
The magic rock that augments the other magic rock that's around it. to
Whatever.
expand the size of both magic rocks?
I don't care. I don't care about the magic rock. The magic rock can do whatever the fuck it wants. It's a magic rock, right? But the thing that blew my mind is that just a little fraction of that was like devastated half of the U.S. and then they just like then a whole one just kind of like the power went out just for the same amount of time, if not shorter. And then there was like an earthquake. And I was like, no, I want, like, it would seem like this thing would just destroy, like, half the fucking Earth if it was, like, put in the water. But they just kind of, like, pooped it into the ocean about, like, 40 feet away. And then, like, what the genius of Lex Luthor in this moment, he's like, I'm going to be on the boat in the middle of the ocean while I put this thing in the water after I know what I've seen what it does in a small, it's like, it's a tiny, tiny little piece. A small pond of water almost, could have killed me. Though I'm gonna be right fucking next to it in a boat. Come on, man. You're
instead of, I don't know, on a helicopter, or it's Lex Luthor, so in space,
something,
or, something
just way far away. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go into space and then drop this in the ocean.
Yep.
That would have been my plan, because I'm safe in space. Nothing can fucking touch me except for Superman.
And they really could have so what they could have done with this movie, and just bear with me, because I'm going to keep the Lex Luthor land grab bullshit in for a second, because I think it could have been made to kind of work. I think that in this movie, you could have introduced the Justice League, right? In a way.
Yeah.
Right? So Superman comes back to Earth and does that first bit showing that he's Superman and look, I'm saving Lois again, la la la. That part was brilliant, right? That was absolutely the start of a Superman movie until it all died. Instead, what you have is, so you still have the weird scene where Lex Luthor's like, yeah, I slept with her, I fucked her for money, and now she's dead, and now everything's mine. Here, have my week. But then have it so that Lex Luthor is devising this plan of like, okay, so I need to get the kryptonite, I need to get the crystals, and I need to drop them in the ocean. But what we're going to do is we're going to fly up to Bruce Wayne's, orbiting space station, and we're going to take control of it. And anyone who's there, we're just going to kill, because there's obviously going to be some sort of private security. And then we're going to use the special space station that's owned by Bruce Wayne and use his tech to shoot this crystal into the ocean, and we'll be protected up there. And then you could have it that, Superman finds out about this plan and has to go up to the space station because he's found out that Lois has stowed away in a spacecraft.
Sure.
Lex Luthor's.
Just something. I don't even want to think about what this movie could have
been.
It could have.
There's so many ways
made.
you could make this better.
I wish it wasn't made. I just wish this movie didn't exist.
Well, it's funny, you're not the only one, because Brandon Routh also feels this way, especially after the fact that he was signed on for 2 sequels. He was signed on for a total of 3 movies.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh, did you not read the fucking script? You're a Superman fan. Did you not go, Superman seems a little creepy while he's hanging outside Lois's house having a little...
Yeah, that was a weird scene. He looks like a psychopath too, like the way they shot it. Like his face is like dark on one side and he's got this expression like
I'm going to tell you,
this guy like
and using his X-ray vision to peek in.
Yeah. The first time I watched this movie, do you know what I thought? I thought that they were going to absolutely do the Bizarro thing. That it wasn't actually Superman who had come back to Earth. It was actually Bizarro, right?
That would have been great.
But like a more advanced version of Bizarro. So you don't have the me and Bizarro. You have like he looks like Superman. He sounds like Superman. He speaks like Superman. But he's got the worst half of Superman. And I thought that that's what they were going to do. That Superman had somehow encountered something out in space. It had split his human half, or his, basically split him in half so that his human half was still inhabiting the Superman body as well as his Superman half. But the worst parts of his humanity had come back to Earth. Whereas the best parts of his humanity had remained out in space for whatever reason. And then he'd come back halfway through the film and be like, oh shit, that's not me, and have this huge fight. And then we find out that it was Lex Luthor who actually engineered this through some sort of like tech satellite that split him into 2 pieces.
Yeah,
but instead, we get this shit, right? Because I got to that point in this movie originally when I first saw it, and I'm like, oh my god, they're doing Smart Bizarro. This is going to be amazing. And then as it went on, I'm like, this isn't Smart Bizarro. This is just a creeper. What is going on?
I mean, you described half the plot of Red Sun, so...
Yeah, pretty much.
It's I don't know. I feel like you can't blame one writer for this movie. It's all over the place though. It's like 17 kids were in a room, wrote their part of the story, and then just threw it in a basket.
Do you want to know how many rewrites the script had?
How many?
If it's
37.
Ooh.
Why is this the number of the day?
Yeah.
37.
You see, you thought I was joking when I brought up 37, but here we are.
I thought you were making a clever Clerks reference.
I was, but I was also tying it into this because I thought it'd be great.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so the original script was supposed to be Superman Flyby by J.J. Abrams, right? And then they took it, because nothing happened for a couple of years, Warner Brothers took it and got it rewritten. And then rewritten, and then rewritten, and then rewritten. And it was just undergoing all of these rewrites. And you can kind of tell because the movie feels like a whole bunch of other people have gotten together and written the script, right? But not actually talked to each other. It feels like there's just like picked and choose from different bits and jammed it in there. Because you can tell that the J.J. Abrams stuff starts at the very start of the movie, right? And that they've kept, which is
The
Superman.
only thing they kept, isn't it?
Yeah, Superman being Superman and saving the shuttle, right? But even that, I feel
it's
like
like
they
Superman's
rewrote some
back
part
after
of that.
5 years and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest was rewritten.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He left for 5. That's another thing I thought was weird. When
That he didn't blow Lois's back out when he came in? She don't have a super woman.
Yeah,
No. That I understand, because that's from Superman 2. That's the Dick Donner Superman 2 when Superman doesn't have his powers. That's when the child's conceived.
Well, if this wasn't a reboot or soft reboot of sorts and instead was a continuation, which it clearly is kind of supposed to be, but
No,
also
they've actually said that it was supposed to be a continuation of Superman 2. They're not going on to the end of the other franchise. They're just going smack bang into the middle of it. Like, we want to take off from here.
I just want to point out that if we had done this review 5 years ago, like in the time that it took him to go back and forth for a mail run, he would have been 37 years old, Brandon Roth.
It's all about the
Conspiracy?
37.
Oh no. It's all going to happen. The sequel, he's been booked in for 2 movies, remember? All those questions that are left unanswered in this movie.
Well, it's funny because Brandon Roth stayed with the DC universe for the most part after this, and went on to do Arrowverse, and he's doing DC Legends of Tomorrow, where he's not Superman but just another character. And
He's Iron Man, basically.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he does
So
a lot
he's
of voice
like
acting
digital
for a
Superman.
lot of DC stuff, which is great. He clearly is a fan, and he clearly stayed around for the rest of what happened after the fallout of this movie.
I'm gonna grab her water
Yeah.
real quick. I'll be right back.
Yes,
He got to
And
cameo
also
as that
no.
Superman in Arrowverse as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
Yeah, and he fucking loved it. So there was a long time there where he was, I wouldn't say excluded from Warner Brother projects, but pretty much. There was a long time there where his career was faltering. He didn't even know if he'd come back to acting after Superman. And he credits a lot of stuff to Scott Pilgrim, actually, of all things, bringing back
yeah.
one of the best comic book movies that we've ever had. Because he was saying that it was that point he didn't know if he wanted to do Scott Pilgrim because it was another pseudo superhero kind of movie. Depending on how you look at it, and was like, and then I decided to take it, and it was just it was this great director was attached to it, who was at the time pretty much just unknown, but had done a little bit of stuff and was very good. And he was and I got to act with all these great actors, so I thought, why not? I'll do it. But there was largely a time where he felt betrayed by Warner Brothers, absolutely betrayed. And he didn't want to go near
He would have
any of
felt
their
like his
stuff.
career was over, wouldn't he?
It was. His career was over. It literally died with Superman.
Yep.
It really did. If
And
it wasn't for...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if it wasn't for Scott Pilgrim, he wouldn't have an acting career. He'd be on stage. He'd just literally be on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, shortly after Superman Returns, I mean, for almost 2-3 years, I think he only made, or at least was a part of, like, maybe 3-4 movies in that time. That is a long time to go when you're coming out and debuting on Warner Brothers in a movie theater for one of the biggest iconic...
One of the biggest franchises in history.
And then have nothing for 2 to 3 years after.
Mm-hmm.
That absolutely killed a career. Right.
The one thing
that was thereafter was just, little stuff here and there until Scott Pilgrim in 2010. And then I'm looking at it and his IMDb from 2010 onward is just packed. It's great.
Packed, yeah. Because people saw him and Scott Pilgrim and were like, oh, I remember him. Oh, wow, he's actually really good. Because I really do think that they made the right decision in getting him as Superman because he is very Superman-esque. And I think he could have been that big blue Boy Scout that we all needed at that time if they had have written it correctly. But because they fucked up the script so absolutely horrendously, like, you pretty much sunk his career, Warner Brothers. And didn't look back. You just went, this movie didn't do good. What do we care?
Yeah, pull everything.
Yeah.
Before we continue, we were asking Adam how he felt about the movie, and I think we've cut him off like 3 times. So... please continue. Tell us how you felt about the movie and how much you loved it.
How much I loved it. Well,
3 times.
Just like I suppose being cut off and being taken in about 6 directions. That's how I felt. Apart from my eyes burning with, I don't know. I feel traumatized. Let's just
an orgy of cinema for you. Because you've been taking. So this is an orgy of cinema for you right now.
Oh boy.
Because you've been taken in like 6 different ways.
No. That's not an orgy. No. This is not. There was no consent. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like I've been pack raped.
I was gonna say there's more than 3 people. It's an orgy.
Oh my god. No, it was. I had really high hopes for this movie when it came out, and it started off with Superman's been away for 5 years. And, like, I'm not going to go back to last night's viewing because it was just more trauma. But when it first came out, it was Superman's back. This is going to be fantastic. And I left the cinema going, what the hell did I just watch? and it was, I was so confused. I'm like, I'm sure they were trying to tell a story, but is Superman a dad now? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but they've put too many. There was too much fact checking in the movie.
Oh yeah.
It's like, here's a map where the Fortress of Solitude's located. That's stupid. But anyway, we're gonna make another one. We're gonna do this. The crystals do that. The Superman's son, which would the biology and whatnot, we're not going to go into. But everything was sort of fact checked. It was. They're trying to explain things that maybe fans ask, but they're questions that didn't need to be asked because it's a comic book movie. You got taken out of the story a lot, and I was really disappointed. What was it, 15, 16 years ago when it first came out? But
question for you, Adam, because I know that you very much like me, a big comic book fan.
Yep. I thought you were going to say something else. Sorry, continue.
An Australian. With the end of the movie when he was in hospital, did you get some serious black suit vibes and then get absolutely fucking horrified when they were like, oh no, Superman's just okay? And hanging outside Lois's house, waiting for her to come out for a fucking smoke?
Okay, so first of all, that's not... that. Okay, I know it's that's not how things work. No, that really bothered me. If he was on monitoring, and the second he took that shit off, they would know he was gone, right? That's how hospitals are.
But none of it makes sense, right?
Yeah. I was like, what? He was just able to like sneak away like that. That's not. I get it. He could fly out the window, whatever. Also, they wouldn't fucking have windows like that. Okay, just saying. Anyway,
They're trying to make a movie that's fictional real, I guess, in the viewer's eyes, and it was really.
It would work in a cartoon, I think. I think this would work in a cartoon, but not as a live action.
I do want to say that I think Jeff nailed this on the head earlier when he said, "I don't give a fuck, call it a magic rock." Right? Because that's really what this universe is based off of is just unbelievable shit, and that's what makes these unbelievable characters believable, right? In this universe of unreasonable things, these unreasonable people do more unreasonable things. When you start putting logic behind it and you start trying to justify it and try and make it realistic, it loses all the fantasy that exists behind it, right? All the imagination that could have been in place is out the window and down the street. And it's just like, and you're trying to mix the two. And that's where it gets like it's oil and water, you know what I mean? They just don't mix. That's why comics are fantasy. That's why Lord of the Rings, if they did Lord of the Rings, they said, oh, well, Snargs actually has 3 sacks. One is glycol, the other is a little bit of glycerin, and the other one is just, we'll call it acid for now, but it's, it's a byproduct. Like, and then, Snark's over there breathing and just fucking trips and his sack punctures one of the other ones and his neck explodes. Like, that would make sense. That would make it real, but it's fantasy. Who the fuck cares, right? It's like they're doing the same thing with the movie. That's all. That's all I want.
Okay, so with Superman, right? I'm okay with cloning from a strand of hair, right? Somewhat not really, a scientific thing, but it's believable in the source of the story. I can understand the Fortress of Solitude and how it somehow runs on magic computer crystals that nobody really understands how those crystals work. I get that.
Oh,
I absolutely get that.
Except for Lex Luthor.
But when you're trying to make a mass out of thin air, now, if they had have said that the crystal inserts into the ground, and then the ground becomes crystal and starts to grow, then that's much more believable than the crystal itself.
Terraforming,
just grows.
Yeah,
exactly. Terraforming is a completely different thing to, I shoot this crystal into the water, and it's a magic fucking sea monkey.
I harpoon a crystal out of a... Yeah, right.
To that point, and this is just... off of other scientific
in the brain as well.
This is based off of other scientific things. When one metal consumes another to create a reaction, it is still consumed. So if the crystal was put in the water, and the water is the catalyst for the crystal, it would eat the water as a part of the chemical process and actually, consume it. Right? It doesn't displace as much because you can't have something from nothing. I hate to quote like Full Metal Alchemist, but I mean that's pretty much where it gets down to, which is even in those cases, the displacement of material, it doesn't infinitely expand without consuming something. Whether it is oxygen, water, other carbons, it doesn't matter. But if water is the catalyst, then the crystals consume the water, which means you're not really going to flood the earth with it, because in order to have that much material, you'd have to absorb that much water. So I'm just saying, principally by that, right?
You just proved my point. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to disprove your point. I was just saying how stupid it was that they were trying to justify it.
It's just such a stupid fucking plot point. It's just Lex Luthor doing more land grab.
Use logic. I mean, you can use experimental science, like things that are theorized, in a comic book movie.
Even pseudoscience is, for the most part, fine.
Bring the real world into it.
He just said exactly what Jeff said, which is what I was echoing, which is just imagine it, right? Don't make it real. Don't try and put some logic behind this bullshit. It's imaginary.
The crystals, I'll never let them go.
All right, so we the last time we rated a movie, we talked about, what's the best way to describe it, and I talked about Nicolas Cage's various levels of scoops. I really like that. I'll post that in here just so Andy has an idea of what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and rate this sweaty, hot show of a movie. I don't know how to describe this other than not a waste of time, because it was relevant enough for us to waste our time on it, but just above that.
This is probably the second worst Superman movie that has ever been produced. And I'm even saying that with, so there was Superman 3 and then there was Superman 4 Quest for Peace. And Superman 3, I think, was the Richard Pryor one, which was really bad. Quest for Peace was even worse. This was only just above Quest for Peace.
All right, I've just seen the scoops. Now, is 5 scoops good or bad? I'm looking at Nicolas here.
It's Nicolas Cage. It goes both ways.
Yeah, I was gonna say this could go either way. All right. All right.
Chesh.
Well,
what's your rating?
Wait, I think Ads was gonna.
I think that I have to give this.
Okay, interrupt me. Interruption.
What?
You're okay. You're scoring. Let's go. Let's start with you, and then move down the line, just like intros.
That's what Brandon said for me to score. So
then he asked me what my opinion.
I was making 3 scoop face.
You got it.
3 scoops. That's my this movie's kind of fucking terrible and awful and a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I feel like my eyes were taped open to watch it. And again, I think the only good thing about this movie was the start, because it sure as fuck wasn't the dumb asshole robbers that were trying to shoot Superman with a Gatling gun, of all things. Thanks for killing your mates, you moron, as if you didn't know that Superman could just walk through your goddamn bullets. And then you try and piss off a super strong alien by shooting him in the eye. In the eye! All you're gonna do is piss him off. He's gonna rip your fucking spine out through your asshole.
Piss him off. It's just like the origin story. We need to re-establish that he's impervious.
He's been gone for 5 years. You don't know that he's not going to be pissed off, right?
5 years
it's
without
been
having a
5
gunshot
years.
at him on Earth.
He hasn't been able to nut through another human body at full speed since he left. He's got to be pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Not
way.
at full speed.
I mean, he wasn't wearing his Atomic Jack Krypton cock ring.
I don't want to dissect that.
With
But...
Lois. Either way, I'll rate the movie. To the scene of the Gatling gun, by the way. Tamara's like, oh, why is he shooting aimlessly? It's not like it's going to hurt anyone. And I had to explain to her what a 50 cal does to a human body, even when it misses.
Did she not see all of his friends getting mowed down in the helicopter because of his stupidity?
And there was that was there too, but there was another laughable scene, which was the cop in one of the cars. He got out of the car and he's holding a Barrett 50 cal like a pistol.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else caught that.
I saw that. I thought that
I was just going to leave it alone because I was like,
exactly. Just like the right movie. And I looked at Tamara and I said, that is a almost 30-pound rifle. And not to mention the ammunition is almost equally as heavy once you load that thing up.
Hey, the prop was light, all right? They had to get it.
Look. Maybe the actual clip isn't that heavy because he's using depleted uranium rounds with holochips, which would make it infinitely lighter. But no,
PD. More money than Lex Luthor.
Yes. Even at 50 cal, there is no way you can carry that fucking weapon like that. Like, it's too heavy to be carried like that.
I laughed to no end with it. Anyways, so I give this a 4 scoops out of 10.
Ooh.
And the reason is because I actually like Brandon Routh. I really do.
I love Brandon Routh.
I think this movie was an unfortunate bump in his career.
I suggest
think it robbed him of opportunities. And let's not talk about the director who continued to make X-Men First Class after this and everything else that followed that was absolute garbo. But
why the fuck does he even have a job? Oh wait, he doesn't. He's cancelled, right? Okay, cool.
He is now.
Yeah.
Four out of 10 scoops. Jeff, how did you like this movie? How much did you love it?
So I thought this movie was there was like 3 things in the movie that kept me going.
The thought about having sex with Lois.
That was Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. That was Cal Penn as Henchman 1. I mean, he had like, I don't think he even had a line in the movie. Did he even say anything? He was just there and just like made faces, and I'm like, okay, I love this guy, so this is fun to look at, and he's a good actor. So it's like his whole character that kept me going. I was like, when's the next time I'm going to see Henchman 1? Cal Penn. When's the next time I'm going to see Cal Penn? And the other thing that kept me going was there were some really good shots of Superman when he's like in the sky. Admittedly, there's some awesome Superman flying shots, and I was like, that's cool. But the rest of the movie was unfortunate. That's like saying like this movie is cancer. It's like saying, well, I got cancer, but my doctor, my chemotherapist, or the person who's administering my chemotherapist is like really funny, and he's really awesome. But you still have to live with the cancer, which is this movie. I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10 as well. I do not want to watch this movie ever again.
Oh, excuse me. Holy shit!
No, that sneeze is more
to his vote too. Yeah, 2 out of 10. Seems reasonable. Even though you had 3 good points about it, you only gave it 2.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, that's still not 3 points.
All right, Adam.
All right. So as I said, I've looked at this scoop scale. Yeah, I can't really take much in the way of good out of this movie. It was good to see Superman back on the screen. John Williams, being able to listen to that Superman theme song again was fantastic at the beginning, got me really excited. And then I think the Nicolas Cage 2 scoop visual is my face for the rest of the movie. I don't care about Lois and her current partner. It's no mystery who the 5-year-old child belongs to. So, like, yeah. It was
no mystery about that even when the movie started and it was first introduced. It was like, Superman had a kid.
Why do you do it?
I mean, I would have been really skeptic if I was, the character Richard in this film, because Superman leaves, Lois Lane has a kid, and he returns 5 years later, and she's like, "This is my 5-year-old kid." I mean.
Yeah. Right, and her article
they work for a newspaper. They're journalists. They're like, that's coordinates, duh. And it's like, oh well, they can do trig on the fly. He's apparently everyone in Metropolis PD can do trig on the fly with a fucking Barrett.
I'll do one better for you.
But he'd be more likely to be like 4 then, right? Like if he just like nutted, like busted, and just
right, there's still 9 months missing somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a better one for you. How about this? The fact that Superman disappears for 5 years.
Yeah.
That Clark, for some reason, goes on a humanitarian mission for 5 years. And absolutely no one puts those two together. Even Lois, who has previously known and then been brainwashed, doesn't pick it up.
A Pulitzer-winning investigative reporter cannot figure out.
Well,
yes.
I was watching this, and my girlfriend. There's a scene where the little kid he looks at Clark and then looks at the TV and just like it's him and just has like a panic attack. And my girlfriend, look, he sees it. It's cute, and I'm like, there's no one else in this room.
that?
It's just
That
like-
a 5-year-old can work it out, you fucking idiot.
While we're
Like,
on
what
this,
is the
can we
universe?
explain why Superman's child is an asthmatic?
Actually, I have a theory about this, and I was going to do this just after we finished talking about it, which was, do we think that Lois does know that, A, it's Superman's kid, obviously. She's going to know that.
Not
because,
suggesting she dosed him with kryptonite.
Yes. What is the bet that she's been dosing that kid with kryptonite to try and, like, suppress powers?
So I actually have a side theory in which was a part of the script that was not mentioned anywhere else in relation, which was that she was smoking. In child development, if someone is a smoker, they typically will have asthmatic issues, or in after birth and they start smoking, they will have asthmatic issues. So they alluded to that only in one scene, which I was like, yeah, okay, so she became a smoker after Superman left because her heart got broken. Great. Like, and the child's development during that time.
That's
right?
actually
And Richard brings it up. Oh, you went on the roof. Were you smoking? Not were you banging Superman? Were you smoking again? It's as if she was trying to quit, and he was bringing it up as like,
That's actually not a bad. Yeah, I think that's probably the best written part of the movie.
I buy that.
yeah. The only part
Alright,
that made sense that they explained.
Did this
for
child
us.
get any of his vaccinations?
Although,
Well, he does have a Seb McKinnon playmat.
So if Superman's skin can't be pierced, right?
Oh, we were talking about his hair earlier. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Child give the vaccine. Yeah.
Superman's son, can't they, like, is there a problem come vaccination time?
no,
Well, also
I can
Superman
explain
is an
this.
alien.
The mother is not dosing the child with kryptonite.
no.
Oh, wait.
I can
You're a dog
explain
eating
this.
dogs. Never mind.
I can explain this. So you have to remember that the powers, not unlike mutants, don't come on until adolescence, and it's usually triggered by an event, a traumatic event. So the
piano
kid,
scene.
yes, exactly. So the kid doesn't have powers, and then all of a sudden we see the piano thing happen, which Lois is like, "Holy shit, what was that?" Because it was a very traumatic event, which actually sparked the kid's stupid internal yellow sun superpowers into being, which doesn't
Nothing to
make
do with
sense
the
anyway.
yellow sun being there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it doesn't make sense. But that's what brought the kid's powers on, right? So the kid has already been vaccinated, so it should be fine.
It'll be fine. Son.
Lex Luthor's yacht is dope, though. That is a
No,
very
it's not
nice
his-
boat.
it's not
Yeah.
his
It's not his yacht. It belongs to the old lady.
There you go.
The
There
one
you
that,
go.
well, I guess
Well,
it is his,
it's
but
been
it
long.
wasn't. It
Now
wasn't
it's his.
chosen by him.
I'm tactically right, which is the best kind of right.
What about Luther's selection in I suppose assistants?
Oh,
Another one. Miss Tessmacher's the one that let him go in the first one, and Kitty now just like throws the crystals out.
I don't understand why he keeps her around when all she does is shit talk him.
He just puts him down.
This
and,
is actually in the comics where he talks about he likes to keep stupider people around him because he gets to be narcissistic.
Oh, because
Yeah,
it makes
fair.
him feel good about himself.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
If I
It
were-
makes Luther sense.
It makes Luther sense.
Yeah.
If I were Luther, I'd probably keep a lot of dumb people around me too. just
Yeah,
to
no.
make it- yeah.
I mean, it was nice
I
to
mean-
see Kumar in the movie too.
That's why I hang out
I'm-
with Brandon. so-
I'm not Lex Luthor, and I keep a bunch of dumb people around me for that exact reason.
You don't even have to be the smartest person in the room. It's just
Well-
natural selection.
Just have to be a person.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like being the smartest person in the room, but yeah,
I always think I'm not the smartest person in the room. I always think I'm the dumbest person in the room.
you know, I think that too. And then somebody opens their mouth, and I'm like, oh wow, I am the smartest person in the room. Fuck, how did that happen?
That explains a lot, Josh.
By the way, I'm putting on Superman 1 and 2 on the server in case anyone decides to get interested to watch what
Wait,
decent
what
Superman movie was.
what was your rating, Adam?
A 2.
Sorry, that was
What
my
was your
rating was
rating?
2. Yeah, 2
Oh,
scoops.
2. Okay, yeah. I
That
think
was- After the opening sequence, that was literally what my face looked like for the rest of the movie.
I agree. I got no enjoyment out of watching this. Every little bit of just like, oh, yay, and then it just got shot right down. Right.
It's that
right
I'm not
back.
angry. I'm just disappointed. Look.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like it wasn't enough
exactly.
scoops, just not enough. Scoops.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. I'll be honest. Parts of this movie, I just fucking put my headphones down and I like got up and did something else and came back, and I didn't miss anything of value. You know.
Oh, actually, you just reminded me of something as well. Speaking of putting things down like a dog, at the start of the movie with the shuttle / passenger liner issue, one of the things that struck me about this scene was the fact that this entire universe, is so fucking dumb that there was no hydraulic release. Now, anyone who knows anything about, different aircraft that are attached to each other, or even, basically any vehicle that's attached to another vehicle, that if the hydraulic clamp fails, if the electronic clamp fails, there's usually a manual override that you pump to get that shit working. In something like a jumbo jet, in like a 747 or something like that, you have much the same with the actual engines. If the engines power down for some reason, there's actually a manual pump that you can use to try and restart the engine. Because they know
how that scene plays out, if that exists. Jimmy and Clark are still at the bar, just going, everything's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned something, a scene that bothered me too. Again, you're like, yeah, it's a movie, but they knew that the other engines were going to go off after the first ones, right? Of the spaceship, the shuttle. Couldn't they have just ejected the fuel?
Apparently not, because that was tied into the system itself. There was no way to actually eject the fuel.
They never tried it though.
On
Especially
that particular
in
model of ship that is made for interstellar, which is funny to say. It's built into the fuselage, just like an airplane. The only times that you can eject is when they do actual liftoff and they're separate containers. And to Chesh's point, airplanes, I believe, have 3 hydraulic systems on them, all separate and independent of each other, so that if one fails, you don't lose the whole plane. Right.
Correct.
So yeah, it's very odd that they would have that issue. Also, if the jets took off and thrusted, I don't think that would hold the airplane. I feel like all of those shackles would have broken the second that second one came out. I just, I'm no physics major. I never built an airplane. I'm just saying those tiny little holsters with how much thrust, considering Lois was slammed against the side, like if Superman had just put on his atomic jack. Like it was just like it did not make sense. Like
I thought that scene was funny. Like all the scenes are supposed, not all of them, but like there was 2 scenes that were they were supposed to be like, oh no, tense, and you're like, oh no. They were really funny, like the car driving through New York, like with no brakes.
I hated that
funny.
scene.
It was just funny. It kept cutting to her like screaming, and it was like comedic. The timing was like, very comedic instead of like tense. I was just laughing the whole time.
Part of the problem with that car scene.
What was it?
But you go back to the plane when it's crashing and Superman's under it, right?
Yeah.
The plane is coming down.
Yeah.
He's gonna grab it by the end and just flip it?
Yeah, that's
it's approaching terminal velocity, but that's fine. Superman's got it.
Yeah. And people on that plane would have died at terminal velocity.
Well, also, yeah. Well, not just that. Just stepping outside the realm of reality. The scene is very funny, where he saves everybody, and then they all get out, and everybody claps, and there's one kid in the audience that just shouts, "Super!" Just the word "super," just super.
I like the fact that they've already got the blow up stair thing, or the slide ready to go on the plane as he's just put it down. He rips the door open and the inflatable slide is already there. That plane scene's pretty terrible. Let's be real.
And she passes out. It's just like the whole thing is just so like all you can do is laugh unless you want to cry. Like you just have to laugh. It's like it's so bad. So man, yeah, solid 2 out of 10. This movie.
I mean, if she passed out
very
the first
solid.
time of seeing him, how is she like straight faced every other time? She would have passed
That
out
scene
every
was
time.
awkward as fuck. Exactly, where he's just like staring at her after he saved her. Everyone's just kind of looking at him like.
It's scary because she left him with a kid. He left
No.
her with a kid.
He's staring at her because he's doing
Last
the
time I
X-ray
saw
vision
you,
thing, and he's
you were
like, "I
pregnant."
wonder if she's wearing a G-banger."
And now I have a child, you prick.
Well, that being said, he knew that she was married and had a child before that accident happened. In addition, so that's just making it even more awkward knowing that she's already been with someone else, and he's like, "I'm back." Like,
Yeah, I know,
in front
right?
of like 60,000 people, like in a stadium, and she just like passes out and falls down. If that would have happened, and I was a reporter, I would have been laughed off the stage and never to report again.
Oh, and this is a weird part. Okay, I know we're saying we're done with this, but like, there's so much bad shit to talk about. In the Spruce Goose, the plane that what's his face gets into with Lois.
Richard's
Cyclops.
random plane.
Yeah. They're leaving, and then Lois is like, "We have to go back," and he's like, "Fuck no!" And then all she says is, "He's going to die, or he'll be killed, or something." And he's like, "All right,"
Like, you make a good point. Turn the plane around.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
But at this point as well, he's got to be thinking like, "Lois, I know this super alien has had his penis in you." Like, would you not at this point,
Superman.
in this
You
guy's
think he's
position,
letting
be
him
like,
die?
yeah,
good
you
point.
just
I'm
be
gonna turn
like,
around.
he's a fucking superhuman, alien. Like, he can look after himself. Fuck it. Like, we need to get to safety.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like, listen, the weird thing is like what she thought they could have done to save him. Like what was her plan? Like he was getting like what was it? What's the contingency plan for saving Superman from like
Is it like one of those life rings? Like to throw over the... Like, catch this!
I don't know. How did you
You'll
know
float.
Also, spotting Superman in the water from that distance in that plane, near impossible.
No, the kid did.
What?
The kid did, and he has potential X-ray vision. Remember?
X-ray vision doesn't help, but supervision does. If that's
Either
what
way,
you were
he's gonna
going
have
for.
supervision. He knew that his
Well, that's
dad
the thing
gonna
I was about
open
to
the
say.
door
Like,
before Lois
Yeah.
did.
but that's the thing, right? Like, as the dad, as the dad flying the plane, would you not be like, "Oh, that's definitely not my kid"?
I would have said that the day he came out, dude. The dad's got both Lois and Richard have just dark brown hair. In fact, all
Do
three
they
of them have
mention-
dark brown hair. That kid has
Yeah.
got a dirty blonde hair. I wouldn't believe that Superman's kid either. I mean, Chesh, we all know that you dye your hair.
It's my kid.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting they decided to cast Macaulay Culkin as a 5-year-old child. It worked. Not to say it worked, but I was like, okay, all right, it's interesting.
All right.
Definitely
Yes,
one of the
this
cool
movie's
things.
great to nitpick, for sure.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong. So much wrong.
And it's got so many origin stories. Why are there so many Superman origin stories? Darkman
Yeah, I
only
hate
needed one movie. Phantom, one movie. The Shadow, one movie.
But as soon as they say they're going to reboot something, you have to tell the origin story again. There has to
I'm
be a
sorry.
flashback to it. There has to be...
How many movies did the Phantom get?
That was the joke. All the movies that I
No, I'm being serious. Like, it was true
it got
movies,
one.
yeah?
Well,
No.
I would not.
No.
I would
Come
not.
on out. No.
That is a movie.
No.
That is titled as a movie, and its release was intended as a movie release.
No, home video does not
Yep.
count.
Absolutely
I never
does.
watched The Phantom. Is it good?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Now we have to rewatch The Phantom again, Chesh. You and I have already done this, but now we're gonna.
Yeah, we've already done it.
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Okay.
I gotta see that Man in Purple again. I just gotta see that extra strapped jock strap again.
You want to see the childlike pouty smile.
Yeah, and
Should
how the jungle brings
The
them back
smolder.
to life every time.
Should I order Kamigawa off of Cool Stuff?
I'm just buying singles. I don't know if I can help you.
Should I pre-order Kamigawa off of Cool Stuff?
We're in
No.
Australia, so I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah, you guys can't order anything.
We can. It's just even more expensive than it is to actually buy it here, which is still very expensive. More
Yeah,
expensive
Just
than what
running
you
it
pay.
in. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't buy Magic cards, losers."
Because I can tell you right now, I'm going to be getting into My Hero Academia, the trading card game. Fuck yes, I am.
Whoa. That's I heard that show really jumped the shark.
Mm.
Oh, I mean, it's a superhero show. I don't know if you can jump the shark.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say
ja-
my expectations were pretty well met for the most part on that show.
It's Japanese X-Men. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
You agree.
But
I can,
it's,
I,
it's
there's 30 shows that are
Japanese
like Japanese
X-Men Academy, thank you very much.
Yeah, Academy.
So there was no Academy in X-Men? Is that what we're telling?
No,
There's
no, so
school for...
you've got to separate them, right? Because there was X-Men Evolution that was all about the Academy, and then
He's
there's
trolling,
all of
Jack.
the other
He's
X-Men
trolling.
stuff.
Don't answer.
I know he's trolling, that's why I'm answering him.
Eating the troll, go.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying, it's-
I think I'm up next for the movie pick.
You are. Pick another Superman movie.
God no!
I
Go
quest
fuck
the penis.
yourself. You know what?
What do you
I'm
want?
gonna do y'all a favor. I'm gonna
Mm.
pick one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies.
Okay.
Rush Hour.
I could use some good action. It's been a while since we've talked about good action movies. It's been a while since we talked about Jackie Chan.
All right, I'll watch Drunken Master again.
No. It's
Police
called
Story?
Who Am I?
Oh.
It's where
no.
he's in Africa.
Mm.
yeah. I'm just like...
Chesh's face.
I'm serious. Go. It's one of my absolute favorite movies. The special effects in that movie, Garbo
no.
to 100% Garbo. But
Yeah.
the rest of the movie is actually really good.
I doubt it.
1998, Jackie Chan.
Go on.
It's definitely not the 2014 German film.
No, God no.
Would be, you never know. Jackie Chan's been in some weird stuff.
Yeah, he has. He's been in a
It's
lot
a 6.9 on IMDb.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I'm guessing Jackie Chan's the secret agent.
No, actually. Well,
Is it racially insensitive in any way, shape, or form?
Secret agent loses his memory after falling from a
No,
crashing helicopter.
Actually, they really go into it in this movie, and he actually, for the movie, went to Africa and was with a tribe for a period of time to do this movie.
Oh wow.
Okay, I mean that explains this, right? Okay, great.
It does. When you watch the movie, it'll make way more sense. I'm not kidding you. Like he actually went and did like time there, hard time. He actually.
I'm sure he was hard
Before,
for most of the time.
Before.
Ah, weird.
It's an interesting movie. It's one that not many people talk about. It's like one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies. And the reason is because I've seen Rumble in the Bronx 100,000 times. It's kind of lost its touch for me.
Betrayed, left for dead, and with no memory. The one thing he didn't forget is how to fight.
Yeah.
And fuck.
My second favorite is Operation Condor. Like that is my second favorite. I think Jackie Chan pretty much gets most of his stuff.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's a cool guy.
And all of his police story stuff is really good too.
So he basically joins this clan, huh? Ooh,
Yeah, I'm gonna
it's
stop going through Jackie Chan's like just movie history.
Oh yeah. His Wikipedia is insane.
Yeah.
Like his filmography, you're just like, wow, this guy's been in everything.
And it might sound weird, but I actually watch a lot of Jackie Chan movies that are not big blockbuster hits and stuff like that. Like Vanguard from 2 years ago, that was trash. He had
I've
Bleeding
watched a lot
Steel
of-
before that.
I've watched a lot of niche or just kind of like not really well-known Jackie Chan movies too. There's one about like some weird football game that they play where I don't know.
It's like going back through Jet Li stuff and finding things like, what was it, Time Cop, where he has to go and
Time Cop.
there's him in multiple realities that's killing him in multiple realities. And
You're
he's,
talking about
like,
Jet Li, and that is different.
I did say Jet Li.
Oh, I
Thank
thought
you
you
very
said
much.
Jackie Chan. I was about to say, yeah,
No.
that's Jet Li, and that's
I
the worst.
absolutely said Jet Li, and I was
said
saying
Jet Li.
that looking back through like kind of B-grade movies of Jet Li,
I
Yeah.
loved the one. I thought the one was great.
Remember?
I thought it was
okay.
great. Oh, that's right, the one. And oh god, what was the one that they were both in? It wasn't really B tier. It was an A tier movie that came out as B tier. The Monkey King.
That
The
was,
Monkey
That was
King.
okay.
I
I
loved that movie. I was a big fan of that Never-Ending Story clone.
You know what movie really fucked me up in a way that I'll never forget? I don't know why, but
Debbie Does Dallas.
no.
I was gonna say
This-
Debbie Does Dallas
This
as well.
fucking Jet Li movie. I don't know why, but this movie I was like that something just fundamentally.
Yeah.
Jet Li's Unleashed.
Oh, dude, that was done by Rogue Films, and that was one of their like debut Jet Li like iconic movies that they did. And that collar was sick. I'm not gonna lie, the mechanism on that collar was
No.
sick.
No,
I
it
loved
wasn't.
I loved it. I'm sorry, Chesh, you feel me, right? You get a little down and dirty. That collar was pretty sick.
2005, man. I just
I had
don't
that
know.
on Blu-ray.
Something about this movie just really fucked me up. I don't know. I'm scared to rewatch this movie. I don't know. There's some kind of lingering trauma around it. Anyway, if we're talking about weird kung fu movies, that's definitely a weird one.
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to watch Who Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not over the top. It's not crazy. It's not some Paramount like giant film that broke the internet. This is just something that went by the wayside, and I think it deserves more credit and at least y'all's opportunity to watch because it is actually a fun Jackie Chan movie. He did crazy stunts in it. That most of everything he does, obviously in his older part of his career, is all live. It's not special effects. It's all practical.
That's why Jackie Chan's a legend.
Yeah. And he does crazy stunts in this, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I highly recommend it. Really fun film. And yeah, you'll figure it out.
All right. Figure it
Figure it out.
Follow it.
out. I was doing a fucking Canadian. Man, I was talking to Cole. That guy.
Oh, figure it out, eh? No, wait, that's Irish.
I figured out. It is a good Canadian figured
Well,
out.
figure it out, you loser.
Oh, shit, I forgot Johnny Knoxville and Jackie Chan did a movie together.
Oh, really?
It's called Skip Trace. I totally forgot about that movie.
Oh.
That was an atrocious movie.
I don't want to watch a Johnny Knoxville movie. I gave you those CKY DVDs for a reason.
Dude, I love
wow.
those CKY videos, dude. I love those.
I'm
things.
glad that you enjoyed those. All right, I knew if anybody would want these, I bought them for you.
Thank you. I grew up with them, so that's why they're like.
I know you like them, and that because I care about you, and I get you things
Oh, thank you.
that I know you'll enjoy.
Thanks, Daddy.
I got them. Don't ever say that to me again.
Oh, Gorgeous was another really good Jackie Chan movie. I really like that one.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yes, a decorated career to say the least.
Yeah.
All right. We want to wrap up this episode.
Yeah,
We got
let's
anything
get
to
the
talk
fuck
about?
out of here. I'm tired of
Yeah.
looking at Chesh, and I'm sure he can't see half of me, but that's the
Aw.
best part.
I will never get tired.
All right, well, since we started left to right, let's start right to left. So go ahead. Shameless plugs, please. If you got a channel, you got a podcast, whatever it is, put it up here for everybody to see. Although we don't have many viewers that come through here now, there's a lot of people that come and rewatch these VODs later and stuff like that. So give an opportunity.
So I've got a podcast called the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. Do that with a friend called Russell. What else do we do? Oh, we play random games on the Nerd Ranch, but Al can tell you all about that. And yeah, occasionally I'm up on Twitch, and it's under ads7281. So yeah, that's pretty much where everyone can find me, and I think I've got all my tags and stuff up on my Twitch channel. So, but yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That was awesome.
Of course. Yeah, I'm glad you came by. Appreciate you, Ads. Welcome on anytime. And if you you play Magic at all?
I used to play Magic.
I was gonna say if you want to play
long time ago.
Commander with us, and send us a tweet. Yeah, I'm Jeff. One of the members of the Lexicon crew. You can catch us next Friday for Dungeons and Dragons. Really exciting stuff happening in this campaign, and yeah, that's all I got to plug. Oh yeah, and Cole's Uncommon Commander podcast. Go check that out. I'm on the latest episode. Yeah.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Brandon.
My name is Brandon, aka the producer. You can find me at MTGLexicon as one of the hosts. Just as a note, after this weekend, I'll be taking a month off from MTGLexicon, just to kind of, get my shit straight. Lately I've been pretty frustrated, irritated, and I find myself apologizing at the end of, every episode to someone, and I need to get my shit right, so that I'm not, being an absolute dickhole. So taking the month off to take care of myself, and then when I get back, hopefully things will be better for me. But that being said, Adam, I would say if you want, you should show up every time that one of the other original hosts here doesn't make it. But I feel like you'd just be here every week. So we can't put that kind of commitment on you, But you're welcome to show up anytime he doesn't. So I'll see you next
Sam?
week.
Maybe I'll find out the movie beforehand next time. I don't know.
Oh, that's why I'm telling you the movie now.
I miss Sam. Where's Sam?
Boogie boarding contest or something or other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, bodyboarding, I think they call it now.
No, booty boarding sounds.
Booty
Booty boarding.
Boogie boarding.
Booty calling. He's at a wet t-shirt competition with a bunch of dudes.
Ah, sexy.
He's watching some of them heavenly pectoral muscles.
Scorching. All right.
Heavenly. All right.
You can find our podcast over at cmdrcrunch.fireside.fm. You can also find us over at twitch.tv/The Nerd Ranch, where we do, sometimes we play some games, other times on a Saturday, which is our Saturday, your Friday night, you'll find us playing some Commander bi-weekly, depending on where the buy falls in. How you doing? And also, you can find me here with these fucknuts.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. And, when you go to rewatch this episode, go check out both of those podcasts, those streams, and be sure to catch Jeff on MTGLexicon. Hot, spicy plays. He's got some new decks lately, so can't wait to see more of those. And I think that's it for us for tonight. So thank you very much, and we are out ski.
Take care.
Bye.